Hello, welcome to episode 56 of the Lina Knits podcast, my podcast about knitting and yarn. I'm Lina and I'm coming to you from my home in Helsinki, Finland. I've been pretty monogamous in my knitting since I last filmed an episode, so let's get right on it. I don't have any FOs, but I do have a good lot of progress in my Magnolia sweater. So this is the sweater from the 4th issue of Lina magazine, and let me just show you what it looks like finished. So it's this one, and it's knit holding a wool yarn and a mohair yarn together, and this is where I am. So I'm nearly done with the body. I'm more than halfway through the lace pattern, and I've really been loving this. Like the yoke and the body part, those were just easy peasy knitting that I could pick up and knit whenever I wanted and completely stress-free. Although the yoke, since it's a yoke and not a raglan, well, it's like a circular yoke, I mean, and not a raglan yoke, you did do the increases. You had to pay attention to the increases. There were no stitch markers to guide your way, but I found that interesting to knit. And yes, really loving just making sure I'm not dropping any stitches, really loving the lace. It looks so pretty when blocked, and there are some bobbles in there, which were, I found some people really don't like naps or bobbles, but there aren't that many in here, and I just think they look really pretty. And the yarns that I'm using for my wool yarn, I have a gray, and then for my mohair it's this very pale Morbis purple type yarn. So what they are, I still have a full skein of both of them left, which is good because I do want full length sleeves. The gray is by Eden Cottage Yarns, and it's in the Hayton 4-ply base, and the colorway is called Steel. This base has 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon, so it's an MCN base. The 100 grams has 350 meters, which is 380 yards. And the mohair is by Skein Queen, and this is, I think that's the base, the floof. It's 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. It's a lace weight yarn, so 50 grams has 420 meters, which is slightly more in yards. So it doesn't have a colorway name. And this is something that I bought in March at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival from the Skein Queen booth there. And I'm really happy. I really love it. It's got a bit of pink in it, but it's mostly purples and mauves, and with the pale gray or light gray, it's just ever so subtly lively fabric. Here you can see the hints, or maybe you can see the hints of pinkish in that area. It's just really, really pretty. So it's been a pleasure to knit, both because of the pattern and because of the yarns. So I really haven't felt like knitting anything else. Well, I have been knitting something else. I've been knitting some of my own designs. One of them I can show you, but the other two that I've been working on since the last episode I cannot show you. So yes, there's been some variation in my knitting, but for evening knitting I've just gravitated towards this one, and I'm keeping it in my old Gila Go bag. This is one of the first project bags that I got, I believe. So it fits sweater quantities nicely, and it's a good size to also keep in. It even fits the magazine. It does. Trust me. Yeah, there it is. So easy to carry with me. Right. Oh, let's put those back in there as well. So thoroughly enjoying that one. I'm knitting it. Oh yes, the needles. Just because I remembered I have this one. So I'm knitting it on 3mm needles. No, that's the short one. I wonder what it is that I'm using. Oh, here it is. Yes, I'm using 3.5mm carbons, which is US size 4. And for the yoke, the rib, the cuff edge, I used 3mm needles. So thoroughly enjoying that, both the pattern and the yarn. They're all just so beautiful, and I cannot wait to have that sweater. Yes, summer is coming. It's not a summer project, but I don't really mind. It's just truly enjoying it. Right, so I did do a bit of other yarn craft things. I started crocheting. Yes, I have quite a few crochet whips. I always start something and then I never finish, but I'm doing these. So what these are, they're meant to replace cotton wool, the cotton wool swabs that I've used, most people use, to clean makeup off and to put on. Well, I don't use like a toner. I use the missile water. I guess it's kind of a toner anyway. So might be that if I have like a lot of makeup, not that I wear a lot of makeup, but if I have put on makeup and I need to clean it, I might still use the cotton wool to get it off. But for applying the toner, definitely gonna try these, just because I'm trying to reduce the amount of waste I produce. And also cotton, it uses a lot of water to grow, so it's not environmentally sustainable to grow a lot of cotton. So just to have it for a single-use purpose and really make me feel comfortable. So I saw this, well, it was on Finnish magazine's website, but I think it's the original pattern, or the pattern was originally from Molly Makes. So what this is I bought just one skein because I'm trying it out. Cotton bamboo yarn it's from Magnolia, a Finnish like a mass market yarn company. So it's cotton bamboo. It has 52% cotton and 48% bamboo. And this can be washed in 60 degrees, so I think that's good. Now, to be as ecological as possible, I should source for organic cotton bamboo mix. Now, I did ask this question from a group of Finnish knitters, since the original pattern had a cotton acrylic blend. though why not use just cotton? And the answer was simple once I heard it, because 100% cotton can be a bit scratchy when you knit it or crochet it into something like this. So someone suggested a cotton bamboo mix, so this is what I got. So I've got 2 of these ready. One of them is not, this is the first one I did and I just messed it up, and I was feeling a bit not good about it, but then I realized that really these are to be used and it doesn't really matter what they look like, but this is a more successful version of it. So I'm gonna crochet a bunch more of these, then give them a go, like see how it feels to use. Does it spread the tone, or does it just soak it all in itself? And then I'm gonna try washing them and see if they clean up, because that's my worry, that I do these and then they don't wash clean, and then these are just for 1 or 2 uses as well, because then there's too dirty to use again. So giving it a go, seeing how I do. I always find it funny when people say that crochet uses up yarn quicker than knitting. If you are good at crocheting, then maybe. For me, crochet is very slow and I really have to pay attention to what I'm doing, so it's definitely not faster than knitting for me. But anyway, a tiny project that I hope will work out, might not. I don't know. If you have any experience with using sort of ecological cotton swabs, then please let me know in the comments how did you do and if you have any tips. I still got that needle here. There, now. Then the other yarny thing that I've been doing, that I vlogged about, was I frogged a poncho that I knit years ago, and I frogged the yarn and I vlogged my process, just because I've been talking about frogging finished objects and repurposing the yarn for something else a couple of times on my podcast, so I thought I would share how I do it. So this is the yarn that I got from it. There's one more skein, but that's still a tangly mess that I haven't had time to sort through, but the other 3 turned out really nice, or well, you could skein them nicely. And they're not ramen like anymore. They don't look like raw ramen or noodles, but they're straight and neat. So this is Cascade 220, and so I've got 4 skeins, 400 grams of it in this color. It's not enough for that large oversized cardigan that I'm hoping to knit, but I do have 4 skeins of Cascade 220 in this blue color. Let's see, it's the color number 7818. So I've got 4 skeins of this as well. Technically you could knit something with these, but I think for the cardigan that I don't see a cardigan in these colors striped. It's just not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that can be thrown over pretty much any outfit, and I think, well, this alone could do it, but this is just a too bright a color for it. So the next step in my process on getting that yarn for that large cardigan, I think I should pick a pattern first, but anyway, so I've got 8 skeins of Cascade 220 in total. The next step is to dye these. I've got some Ashford acid dyes, and I've experimented with them before, in dyeing like undyed wool, and so I know how it works. But the problem is that these are not undyed. These are already dyed, and there are two very different colors. I'm not ambitious enough to think that I could, it's not even possible, but I'm not even trying to get like the same shade on both of them, but similar, like both could be brown. This one a bit darker and this one a bit lighter. Both could be green. Something that I could do so that they don't have this much contrast in them, so that I could knit a sort of go with everything cardigan. So if I'm again asking for help, but if you have any tips on what colors I should aim for, then please share in the comments below. If you've got a perfect pattern in mind for this, you can share that as well. I do love browsing the patterns on Ravelry, so that's just something I haven't done yet, but I do love doing it, picking out the right pattern. Right, and then if the dye stuff doesn't work, I'll just throw in a lot of black and call it that. But I really wouldn't like to have a black sweater. I don't enjoy knitting like black yarn that much, and also I think it's like the plan B if nothing else works. I'd really like to have something else. I'm thinking brown or green. Navy blue could also work, but would it then be the shapes be too different? I don't know. Lots to think about, and I might document the dyeing part, so you'll have like a continuing vlog. But we'll see. So the one Lina Knits design that I've been working on in the past few weeks that I can share with you is being test knit at the moment, and it's scheduled to release towards the end of May. So this is a very large triangular shawl, and I won't go into too many details on it just now because I know it's not available yet, so it's not fun. But this is a scrap yarn project, so I had 2 skeins of undyed wool, fingering weight wool, and then I had equal amount of scraps that I just arranged into a nice fadeish gradient type arrangement, and then just knit those. So with 2 strands of fingering weight yarn throughout. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I cannot wait to share this pattern with you. And right now I'm really looking forward to seeing the different versions my test knitters are going to be making. I've seen some of the yarn selections, and I cannot wait to see. I'm really excited about that one. Right, so a shorter episode this time since I've been so monogamous. But any dye tips for dyeing undyed wool, or for dyeing like re-dyeing wool that's already been dyed? Any tips on that? Very welcomed. Also any tips on sort of reusable cotton swabs, washing, knitting, crocheting, anything that if you've used them, or anything that comes to your mind, please share. And I hope to see you soon again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to by the next episode, I hope to have finished that one and started something new, so that I have more to share with you. But I didn't want to skip recording now because I really like chatting with all of you. And I just think the longer it takes between episodes, the more difficult it is to pick it up again. So just wanted to pop in and say hi and show you what I've been doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye!